Hello, everybody, dear friends. Happy Sunday afternoon. And here I come again. Actually, today was a continuation on a topic I did yesterday. We talked about closure in relationships. And yesterday we talked about the case when somebody just does not give you closure. So you feel stuck and you don't know what to do, whether you should move on, whether you should stay, whether you should keep begging them for closure, or what should you do. So yesterday we only consider that particular topic on when somebody is avoiding conversation with you, when their words differ from their actions, and when you basically stuck and you afraid to move because you don't have the closure. So if you want to watch that video, I will put a link under the video, or you can just go on my channel and find the video previous to this one. So this is the case we talked about yesterday, and I'm really glad we did, because that happens very often. I feel that also in online dating world, this is one of the things that happens a lot, because a lot of times people just don't bother to give you information or to give you that specific closure, and you kind of hang on air and you lose time and all of the above. So if you want to know about that, just find that video under this video, or go to my channel and you will find the closure video, the first one I made yesterday. So hello everybody, thank you for joining. I know it's unexpected and it's been a fruitful couple of days, lots of videos from me, both on Facebook and YouTube. And hello Stan, and hello everybody in the rooms. Thank you so much guys for coming. So let's jump right into it. So after I made the video yesterday, I felt like this video really needs a follow-up, because a lot of us, wants to know what is that caused a problem in a relationship, what is that can be particularly harmful in our next relationship, and just in general, what can we do better? Hi Glenn. So what could we do better this time? And Glenn actually was talking about, I think that closure is important, and today I'm gonna somewhat relate to when it's important and when it's not only not important, but it's also dangerous. I really felt like I owe this to you guys for your trust and support, and just being willing to learn about these things. And that's why I felt like coming out today. I hope to be a shorter video, because it's Sunday. So hi Justin. By the way, Justin, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that very much. And today is a continuation. So when it is important to get the closure, and when it could be helpful and useful. So it is important, number one, when you were in a relationship with an adequate person, the person is adequate, respectful, and not on fire on top of their emotions. Usually they are negative towards the end. So if you actually were in a relationship with an adequate person, and that person is considering you important and want to have a closure and last conversation with you, explaining what was wrong, what didn't work for them, absolutely, in this case, you can get together, like civilized people, right? Like people who can have a civilized discussion. It could take place a little bit later than the actual separation had happened, because usually when things are heated up, I don't care how civil you are really hurting. So sometimes it's okay to wait a little bit. But if you were in a relationship with a respectful person, with an adequate person, with a kind person, Yes, and they are willing to give you that closure. You can absolutely take that offer and have a nice conversation and go through the things that were great, and then go to the things that didn't work out. And it's not always painting somebody in a black paint. Very often your values change, your goals in life change, your priorities change, and many other reasons. So I see that as a positive thing. Also, if somebody is respectful and actually want to talk to you. Second case, when the closure is important to consider and reflect on what you do, if every single person in your life you were in relationship with gives you the same feedback. Every single person gives you the same feedback, and basically you have same pattern, and your relationships are always short, whether it, and it's both, it's personal, man and a woman, and also with friends. You seem to have a hard time making connections. People very quickly turn away from you. I mean, it's a terrible place to be, but it happens. So if you have a pattern of things, and every person that's been in any kind of relationship with you give you the same feedback, and that feedback is not pleasant, but it's been staying consistent over the years, that really means it's very possible you have a serious problem. So in this case, if you do have a serious problem like that in communication, I think it's crucial that you work that out, you work this out, with a psychologist, psychiatrist, coach, do your own self-help books. Just try to see how you can improve that, because chances are you will never have friends and you will never have a long-term relationship if you have that unhealthy pattern. So to wrap up the first part of the video, yes, if somebody is willing to talk to you, somebody is not ghosting you, breadcrumbing you, somebody is upfront, straight, honest, that their feeling has changed, their intentions had changed, they want to talk to you, that's a yes. You find your time, you calm yourself down, and you be ready to hear what you're going to hear. Everybody has a choice when they want to, if they want to go or live your life. It's supposed to be free. The more we're trying to hold on to somebody, the more that person is want to get out of it. And number two is when you have the same message, usually negative, from everybody that knows you. There is that same message. Like, let's say this, this person is selfish. People accusing you of being selfish or being unresponsive, or being pretty much, while you are in relationships, they don't feel like they're in relationship with you. For example, that you're very self-centered and it's everything always about you. For example, that could be the pattern. Or that you any other kind of sabotage, when things are good, maybe you're uncomfortable and you break those good things. So whatever that might be, there might be a million reasons, but if you see consistent message, it's not a pleasant message, it's not anything you want to hear, but it's consistent, that's a time to pay attention and time to do something about it for your own good. You're not going to do it because of the other person, you're not going to be doing it because of anybody else, but if you want to feel good with you, and you have an issue, it's worth it to actually figure it out and start working on that issue so you can attract people that you can enjoy in your life. So now, guys, that's the message I really want you to pay attention to, and check with yourself if you still have that in your head. Now, the danger of closure in a relationship, when things are heated up, when things are on fire, when it's an emotional breakup, there is a lot going on. It's very popular in Ukraine and Russia. Usually if it's a breakup, it's all hell break loose. So if you have that going on, and somebody not only giving you closure, but they are screaming you closure, they're screaming you so much closer that you can barely take it, and it's a blame, It's comments on your appearance. It's comments on your place in life. It's comments on their assumptions of who you are and who you will be. It's mostly not only negative but very loud, screaming, literally very often, and its affects you get judged as a person, as your personality, for your present, for your past, and for your future. Basically, for men, if the woman calls you a loser, as somebody who can't make anything happen in life, somebody who's unsuccessful, somebody that is worthless. And for a woman, it's usually when the man is screaming that you're boring, not interesting, you're unattractive, you're fat, you're stupid, you're old, you're ugly, and guys, it happens more than you can imagine. People, when they get frustrated, their relationship went downhill, they blame each other for the relationship going down, and then they get really personal and start to discuss your body, your your teeth, your success, your bank account, because who else but the person you're living with knows a lot about your personal things. And when somebody else tells you something offensive, you don't really react because that person doesn't really know you. They don't have that much value, right, for you. So you might as well think about it, but then you forget. But when it is somebody who you shared time with, bad with, food with, life with, that knows so many vulnerable things about you, tells you in your face, once again, all these personal things, what happens is very often we get in whoever is more responsible in a couple, whoever that person is that person is going to take that blame, that guilt, and that person gonna very often can embed that negative talk. And way after the relationship, the most beautiful woman, can be telling to herself that she is ugly, unattractive, stupid, loser, and the most strong and charismatic man can feel insecure, incomplete, that he is a loser and nothing is there for him, because that's a subconscious thing. When those hurtful words, when we are most vulnerable and emotional, they get into our conscious, and then they play like a broken record. They keep playing and playing, and often we live like this. We live like this way. So I just want to tell you guys, this is a danger when the person can wait to give you that feedback. That is one of the things when it's actually better to avoid the other person, let them calm down. And always remember to check with common sense and logic. No, you are not the only person that is guilty in relationship is not working. It's at least 50% responsibility at the very least. No, you are not ugly and stupid and worthless. You are not, just because you are the most valuable and precious things you will ever have in your life. It's you. It's not even, not even our children, not even anybody else. You are the most precious thing, or, human being, precious. You always had value. You always will have it. You will grow and increase, and you are, just the fact of you being means that you are worthy and you are valuable. But you are the one that needs to do some work, and not to deny our flaws and things we need to work on, but to not unconditionally accept all the garbage and turmoil and negativity that usually the people give you when they leave relationships. In our country, I grew up on this. I heard people fighting and calling each other the most horrific things, and that's just not how you do, how we should live life. something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that there is something wrong with you. So that's, guys, I just wanted to follow up because yesterday I made that closure, the first part of this, and I just didn't want to ignore that it has many angles and many sides. It's not just one-sided. That yesterday it was about the people that just doing everything to avoid give you their perspective, but you can figure it out by their behavior. Today, you know, we talked about when it's really valuable to get the closure, and tomorrow, and now the last thing I said is that you have to be careful with the blame and hurt and negativity the other person will try to put on you by the end of the relationship. I want to tell you something. If you were that dumb and unattractive and useless, they probably would not be in a relationship with you to begin with. We tend to devalue and have this desire to destroy somebody when they did not get us what we wanted. And it's unfortunate, but we do that. And only mature, adequate, kind, loving person would treat you well, even if things did not work out. So that's why, guys, I tell you, sometimes don't worry so much about the looks, because looks go away, but the person's heart stays there. When you were in a relationship with a good person, they're not gonna try to destroy you. They're not gonna try to take you to court. They're not try to take the money from you that do not belong to them. When you are in a relationship with a person that is deeply a decent human being, yes, you might have some ups and downs. You might end up going separate ways, but that person is not gonna try to tear you apart. Because I have this policy. If I've ever loved somebody, I would never go on a way of destroying that person. I don't understand how people who live together, had children together, go to the court and take each other apart or try to destroy each other. If you ever love somebody, there is this piece of you that you know, that little piece of you that's still inside, you know, inside of you. You know what I'm saying? There is a part of your soul that connected with that person. There is a part of experience that you live together, especially if you had children together. So remember the good, let go of the bad, and make your own closure. You know, make your own mind about where you want to be and what do you want to change, and be honest with yourself. You know, there is nothing wrong with becoming a better human being. So guys, that's a message. King Nero saying, I'm actually guilty of this, but I'm getting better. Well, it's all about getting better. Hello, Patrick. Alec is saying, complicated subject. In a fairly normal relationship, it is close to 50-50, the responsibility of both parties. Generally, the blame is not completed one-sided. I agree. Exactly. Alex saying exactly what I was thinking. Alec, I'm really glad I'm making sense. It's really awesome to know, guys, that my thoughts are resonating with you. Thank you, Alec. I'm glad that we are on the same page here. Justin is saying, I'm curious which painting is behind you. I really, you know, this was a gift. It's some Italian. I don't really know, but I can have that information for you for my next live. You guys can tell I love red and I like classic art. I went to a modern museum here in East Lansing, Michigan, a couple of months ago, and that was my last time, first and last. So no modern art for me. I felt like I can do a better painting. No, I think she's just thinking somebody. She's just thinking about somebody. I love that painting. I don't know how well you can see it. So guys, my dear friends, I gotta go move on with the days. Thank you so very much for coming. Once again, I didn't want the topic to be one-sided. Whatever feedback anybody gives you, always try to honestly sit down with yourself and see what part of it you feel is true, even though it sucks to admit it, but it's true, and what part of it um you just deep down you cannot agree because you do not feel connected, and it's more of a perception of the other person. Very often people who blame you and call you bad words and giving you a very bad closure, it's the people that projecting their own problems. You know, when they call you boring, you know, when they call you ugly and unattractive or a loser, most likely they have those issues with themselves. If I would tell you guys the things I've heard a couple times in my life, if I would believe in those things, not only I would never do anything that I'm doing right now with my life, you know, including, you know, the travel, the being self-employed, the making these videos for you guys. I would consider myself incompetent for everything, because some people just have to tell you the things. By living with you, they know your most vulnerable parts, and this is where they can really hurt you. So protect those parts, but be adequate and be open to improve. If you have a pattern of bad relationships or bad mistakes, there is nothing wrong with getting some attention to it, admit those shortcomings and make them better, not so much for the other people but for you. Everything we do in life we're really doing for ourselves, even when we think we're doing this for other people. So guys, from Michigan with love, I will see you next time, and thank you so much for coming to my live stream.